Let's move to explore the plot section. There are a variety of plots that are available in the program. The plot for the example shown is a delta CLAB plot, as can be seen by the label on the plot. The plot displays a window with DA and DB axes and a smaller window with the DL axis. To better display plot functions, we will choose the standard light gray that has a larger representation of batches. To the right of the plot's label are tabs that allow the user to switch on-the-fly illuminant observers that correspond to the default illuminant observers for the system. Up to 5 illuminant observers can be selected. The selection of illuminant observers can be done in the home bar from the System group and the Illuminant Observer button. We will choose F11 10 degree. The new tab appears. Notice that when the user clicks on the different tabs, the plot resizes as necessary to represent batch positions. The green shaded area represents the tolerance. Panes are interactive in the software. If the user clicks on a batch within the plot, notice how the plot as well as the data grid highlights the selected batch. There is also an option to enable labeling in plots. If the user goes to the System Command tab and chooses Plot Defaults from the Default group, then chooses the Color Difference Plot tab, he can check the box called Show Legend, and the plots will contain labels. The user then has the added option of clicking on the labels as well for easier batch location. The labels are color-coded as the batches are: red for fail, yellow for warn, and green for pass. Double-clicking will expand the pane. By holding down on the left mouse button and dragging the cursor across the plot, the user can select an area to zoom in on. To reset, right-click on the plot and select Reset Zoom. If you would like to see a 3D image of the plot, right-click, select Show 3D, and a 3D image will appear. Holding down the right mouse button will zoom the plot. Holding down on the left mouse button will rotate the plot. To exit the 3D image, right-click and unselect Show 3D. To print a plot, right-click and choose Print. Plots can be printed in 3D or 2D mode. Right-clicking also gives the user the option to show only the current batch. Or, unchecking this option will show all batches again. Let's right-click on the plot again. Notice that CLAB is checked because the active tolerance is currently CLAB. If a different color difference plot is to be viewed, then the user needs to click on the tolerance selection box in the System group and choose a different active tolerance. In our example, we will choose CMC. After picking CMC, the plot label changed to Delta CMC as well as the right-click menu. To close the plot back to the original size, click on the X. Earlier, we had added a column for the batches that was CLAB pass-fail in the data grid. Notice how this column is now empty since we are currently using CMC as our active tolerance. Switching back to CLAB repopulates the data grid and also changes the plot. Let's right-click on the plot and demonstrate the Switch option. Switch changes the output for the current pane. For example, if we choose a curve plot and choose %R, %T, we see that our plot has changed to a reflectance plot. It is important to realize that the switch function is available on all panes. To demonstrate this, we can switch the data grid pane over to a color descriptor grid showing color descriptors for batches. The user has the ability to change the function of each pane and save this as a new template if desired. The switch option also offers other types of plots such as histograms and trend plots. In order to display these plots, parameters must be selected. This is done in the System Command tab by choosing the Defaults group and the Plot Default option. This is the same area where we activated the labels for plots. The first and third tab allows the user to choose which coordinates the plots will represent. In our example, we will use CLAB in both cases. Once set, we can switch to either of these plots and display data. Remember, if the tolerance selected does not have coordinates selected for the plot to be used, no graphical data will be seen. This can be shown if we change the active tolerance to CMC.